Okay, so we have another update of the video blog here of my Super Mono build. Again, these are few and far between. I can't remember what I reviewed before, but anyway, I think one of the things I left off with the last time was how the white number plate, how I originally had it mounted, wasn't going to work. But I've since sorted that problem with some nice headlight ears that clamp to the fork, proper size this time, so there's no jiggery pokery going on. They mount up nice and holds the plate good and steady. So this might turn into carbon fiber in short order. We'll have to see how accessible I'm able to get my hands on a bandsaw that'll cut through carbon fiber. Had some really good news and some frustrating time with with the project. I have gotten the engine running, which is great. So I know that the engine actually works. I don't even have any soot coming out of the back of the exhaust pipe as proof. But yeah, it works. It does run. However, the EX250 carbs are a bust. I've just got a towel thrown in front of them here right now, mainly because I was cutting some wood in here earlier today. But they would idle fine. But as soon as I gave it any sort of gas, it would immediately die. I wasn't quite figuring out why that would happen. Changed some jets around, that sort of thing. What I ended up doing was I got it running in an idle again, came up and manually held the slides open here in each of the throats. You can hear the suction there. Cracked the throttle open, and it would actually accelerate like it properly should. So there was obviously some sort of problem with the carb slides themselves. Either the diaphragm is faulty or something like that. And I just, you know, to start to throw some money at parts for carbs that were a stopgap and a compromise anyway, I just said to heck with it and placed an order for some 33mm CR carbs, which normally would have gotten here in a decent time, but I just got an email tonight from the distributor out of the States saying that they're back ordered. So it's going to be a while before I get these carbs in, which unfortunately puts a bit of a kibosh on getting this thing out to the track in July, obviously, and maybe even August. But it is what it is, and you know, at least I know the engine is sound enough that it runs as it properly should. Powder-coated swing arm fitted to the bike, which I think I already showed you guys. Notice the rear wheel is off. I got some more drama around that. Interesting thing is that when I fired this thing up, this oil tank, it's bolted together in two halves, so it leaked a bit. It was weeping a bit of oil. So okay, well, I used it as an opportunity to split the oil tank. It's just held together like a motorcycle case would with some Allen bolts. Took it apart, cleaned it all up, removed all the old gasket material, which seemed to be silicone, which didn't seem to be the right material. Put it together with proper Yamabond, sealed it up together, torqued it properly, let it cure, put oil in it, didn't even run the engine, and it started to weep some oil. So what I ended up doing was the good old, you know, I can't see myself splitting this oil tank anytime soon again. So I just put some Yamabond on it, and I still need to keep an eye on things to see, you know, if it's going to be leaking anymore or not. I eventually traced it all the way up to the top here, which of course this whole area is totally full of oil. You know, in terms of where it was coming from. So I hope I've got it. If not, I might just take the thing off and you know, look at getting it welded together or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of silly that, you know, I don't think it was taken apart to start with, so it had sprung an oil leak, and you know, so now the JB weld should hopefully keep all the oil inside where it's supposed to be, and we'll go from there. But yeah, let's on its second try here with some JB weld, and hopefully it keeps oil inside. I think last time I took a video, there was an issue. I was monkeying with clutch cables again. It does need a pretty severe 90-degree bend there, so I ended up getting a clutch cable, the housing from an EX650, and used the internal cable kit from Van Hill and put it all together so it works well. Just touches on the crankcase vent there, but it should be fine. I don't know if this is any issue or at all, but you know, you'd hate to have catastrophic failures if it's avoidable. So this is the oil return line for the oil coming off the cylinder head. So it needs to be 5/16, and you know, I found some rubber hose. It's marked as fuel hose, which should be pretty strong enough. There's not a whole lot of pressure going through there, but the oil might be a bit warm. So I'm wondering, like, is there going to be a problem with running fuel hose as an oil hose, because I can't find specific oil hose in the size where I am living here. So hopefully it'll work, or if you're watching this video and know that this will fail catastrophically, get in touch with me and tell me to switch it out before something bad happens. But I think it'll be okay. Made a little guard here out of carbon fiber, just as the junk and stuff comes off the back of the rim or back of the wheel, just to make sure the carbs don't eat it. Little shifter that'll mount backwards in order to reverse the shifting, which is what I prefer anyway. I haven't snug that up yet. And the wheel saga. Oy, oy, oy. So the wheel was a rear 5.5, which came with this Dunlop 160 slick. No chain clearance problems whatsoever. Awesome. 160 slick. Begged and borrowed a 160 Bridgestone DOT from one of the trackside vendors, and we got chain clearance issues. Rubbing the 160 DOT tire was rubbing on the side of the chain, not just kissing it, but actually like the wheel wouldn't turn worth a darn. So that's no good. On the 5.5-inch rim, it ended up being quite wide, just the actual width of the tire here. So I measured it. The 160 slick, and slicks are normally narrower anyway, was 158 millimeters, which is close to the actual 160. The 160 DOT was 178 millimeters, so that's probably part of the problem. I've got it over here. The garage is a mess because I was doing other household chores today too. So this Bridgestone Battle Axe 090, yeah, we had serious chain clearance problems. So the root of the issue is inside this box, and that's my rear wheel. 5.5-inch rear rim. The only tire that will work with this, that won't have a chain clearance issue, is a 160 or now a 165 GP slick. All the Canadian tire vendors are saying these things are going the way of the dodo bird anyway, so you shouldn't put a 150 on a 5.5-inch wide rear wheel. You're going to have problems with profiles and it deforming and that sort of thing. So this rear wheel is off to Buchanan Spokes in Azusa, California, to get the bare 5.5-inch rim replaced with an XL 4.25. And that way I can run whatever type of 150 DOT sticky track day / race radial I can get my hands on, and avoid fitment issues in the future. So here's the thing, is that, you know, the tank is on and the bike is looking pretty racy, and I'm kind of happy with progress, but it's got no rear wheel, and it won't for at least, let's see, 3 weeks, if not more. And no carburetor, because the carburetor I need is back ordered, but it runs. That's the main thing. So it's just hurry up and wait for now, which gives me some excuse to ride Big Green Zill over there, or handle all this yard work that I've left until summer vacation, which I'm on day 1 of. Anyway, I'll keep posting videos as information and changes come available.